Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Max here with another great business discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Stephen, and he's selling his Amazon Associates affiliate and display advertising business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Stephen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing about your business. But before we do that, let me give a brief summary of the business. It's an Amazon Associates affiliate and display advertising business in the outdoors niche, created in October 1996. The average monthly revenue for the business is $21,109 and makes an average of $21,086 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 48460 to learn more about the business. Included in the sale is the domain, the advertising and affiliate relationships, and the SOPs. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, Stephen, why was online business such an appealing idea to you?
You know, I have some requirements in my life that require me to work from home. And being able to do an online business gives me a lot of flexibility in when and how much I have to work.
So take us back a bit. How did you get started creating online businesses?
Well, I have been working for myself for a number of years in various various areas in IT. And I came into contact with the idea of niche websites and really fell in love with it. Started a couple small ones and they worked well. And then I had some ideas on ways to improve it. And this site was really the first one where I kind of went all in and trying the new method, and it's worked out pretty well.
Why did you choose this niche? Was this something that you were interested in?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly general and broad niche, and it's one that has a lot of potential for expansion in a lot of different directions. So I wasn't hyper-focused that it was going to limit it in how big it could get.
And how does Primarily make money? Give us a sort of an overview on all the components to the site.
It's a content website, receives organic traffic, and that traffic is monetized through a few different sources. Amazon Associates is one. There's display advertising from the display advertising network is another. And then there's some also non-Amazon affiliate programs that it's a part of. Those products also earn income. So it's pretty diversified. I think, the recent months it's been at least 50% or more has come from outside of Amazon. So it's a nice spread.
Is that diversification something that you've worked on?
Yeah, Amazon in the past has made adjustments to their program. And then some of the non-Amazon affiliate programs have much better percentages. So definitely started, but really have just scratched the surface and what's possible as far as expanding into, other programs.
In your opinion, what is so appealing about this business model?
Well, the model itself is appealing because you don't have to do a lot. You can build the property, you can outsource the content creation. So you really are just doing a little bit of research on new things that you want written or new directions you want to go to, and maybe contacting other affiliate programs to, start a relationship. This particular entity that's for sale here is a really solid, authoritative website that has been around for a long time and ranks very well.
So just going back a bit, you actually purchased this domain previously?
Yes, I purchased this domain at auction from the previous owner specifically for this project.
Why was that? Was there a particular reason?
Well, it was an extremely authoritative domain with fantastic backlink profile that's been online continuously for a long period of time and very closely tailored to the niche that I wanted to pursue. So it was the perfect platform for this.
And that accounts for sort of the very sort of strong link profile that you've built up on this site?
Yes, because it had so many strong links to start. I don't have to do a lot of link building. A lot of stuff just ranks when you publish it without having to do a lot of link building, which is one of my least favorite things to do. So it's worked out well.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the most challenging tasks to do. Have you actually gone out and done any sort of link building?
A little bit here and there. Because it's such an authoritative site, it gets links naturally, because when people are looking for, quality site to link to, it comes up naturally. So it gets a lot naturally. And then I have done some targeted link building in a few areas when I need to, but a much smaller requirement with this site than some of the others that I've managed.
Yeah, it certainly seems like a great feature to have.
Oh, it is. Yes.
How have you gone about creating the content that exists on the site?
Really, all of the content has been outsourced. I mean, initially, some of the non-money content, kind of building the structure of the site, I wrote some of that, but the rest of it has been really outsourced, and I've used pretty typical sources, content services, not necessarily having, specific writers that are, experts in different niches. I mean, I can just go and order the content without really having to do a lot of work or find specific people to write it.
If the content's being outsourced, would you be able to describe the amount of work that you do for this site?
Yeah, I mean, usually I decide, okay, the site itself is kind of broken down into maybe a dozen different subspecialties within the general niche. And, I will maybe, I want to add a few more things in this area. I'll maybe do a little research on topics that I might want to add to the site that are related, and kind of figure out which products I want to promote. And then I'll just go to a content service and say, I want X number of words. And, sometimes depending on who I order from, some want you to say which items you want reviewed. Sometimes you can just tell them the topic and they'll pick the items, with some general direction as to what type of things you're looking for. And, and that's it. And then it comes back and you publish it put your links in there and you're done.
Are there any employees working with you?
No, I mean, I have a number of sites that I own and run, but no employees.
Is there anything you learned from this particular business that you might apply to future businesses?
Oh, absolutely. The benefits of using a higher authority domain with an existing history as a platform is, in my mind, far superior to starting with a brand new, fresh domain and build something from scratch.
I think people could look at that and maybe try and replicate it with their own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you deciding to sell the business then?
Well, as I mentioned, I have a number of these going, and it's a little bit much for me to manage, and I'd like to concentrate on a few of the other ones. And it just seems like this is in a good place for someone to take it to the next level. So I think it's a good time for me to let it go and focus on some of my other ones.
If you were to keep the site, what are some ways that you might try to grow it?
Oh, if I was to keep the site, I would definitely look at more affiliate sources, specifically higher end products maybe that really have started to get a number of contacts from different companies approaching me to get reviews for their items or to see if we're interested in some kind of a side relationship. Even some of the ones on Amazon will contact and say, hey, I know you're only getting X% from Amazon, but we'll give you 3 times that plus a bonus if you add our stuff to your review. So I think it would be expanding into other products and other affiliate programs would be the way I'd go.
What do you think are the biggest risks associated with a site like this?
I mean, they're kind of the risks that come from any affiliate business. I mean, you could have, I suppose, any of your suppliers, any of your affiliate programs could change their terms. I mean, all Amazon affiliates know that if Amazon someday decided to end their affiliate program, they have an issue. And although, again, with this one, because probably more than half of it is coming from other sources, it's not as big a risk. But, that's always a risk, and Google is always a risk, and business in general is always a risk. But this site has performed really well, so I feel it's a lot less risky than some of the others that I have.
If a buyer was to come in for this business, would you be willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, I would. There are maybe 1 or 2 slight overlaps with other things that I have, and that's all been disclosed as part of the listing, and certainly would be upfront with that. And I don't think any of them really compete with this listing directly, but I'm willing to discuss it, and if there was an issue, we could be reasonable.
How much support are you willing to offer buyers? Is that Skype and email support?
Yeah, Skype and email. I certainly want to make sure that whoever takes it over is successful, and I'll get them going in the right direction. Although honestly, it's not that difficult if anyone's familiar with niche sites at all. It's fairly standard and probably a pretty hands-off one compared to many others.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out?
It's not my preference, honestly, but I mean, I'm willing to negotiate most anything. If, someone brings an interesting offer, we certainly can talk about it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And something that we like to do sort of towards the end of this podcast is maybe give some advice to people that are just getting started in online businesses. So what advice would you give to people that you wish you knew when you first started?
Honestly, I think the thing that's made a huge difference is look at starting with an aged domain of some sort, just because it shortcuts the process and it allows you to grow faster and it allows you to grow higher and remove some of the link building efforts that are required versus starting on a brand new site. So that would probably be what I would give for advice. Look into that.
Was there any software or tools that helped you at the start of running this business?
I use some of the same tools that most everyone uses for research. I use Ahrefs a lot. Personally, I like Majestic for backlink research as well. And I use the Keywords Anywhere tool. Does a good job of helping you to see, what's available or what keywords are worth and the kind of volume they get and stuff. Those I use all the time.
Yeah, some good choices in there. And the last few questions from me. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
From my perspective, as one who has really looked into and been focused on building authoritative sites, this is a very rare website that this is built on. The authority of this domain, you just don't find them like this. So from that standpoint, it is an excellent opportunity. You just don't see it very often.
And is there anything else that you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, I think you've been pretty thorough.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, thank you for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 48460. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. And I'll see you in the next episode.